Guess what? Region 13 has turned 50. That was fun. Hey, I'm Paul Chavez. I started here in 1989. Working at Region 13 has been an incredible experience. More than a job, it's a place of family, built by the many people that have worked here. How should we start this celebration? Well, how about from the beginning?
April 1965, on the banks of the Pedernales River, President Lyndon Johnson, with his first teacher sitting beside him, signed the Elementary and Secondary Education Act that provided funding for various programming in education nationwide. In 1965, the Texas legislature passed a bill authorizing the Commissioner of Education, J.W. Edgar. He recognized a need for an agency to provide technical assistance to Texas schools that was not at that time being provided. He wanted an agency that was in close proximity to the schools and which would be responsive to their diverse needs. And in 1965, he found a source of seed money for centers. And in 1967, state legislation authorized establishment of Regional Education Service Center and provided our first funding for instructional media. And service centers began operation in August of 1967. It was a small but important beginning for Region 13. I'm Jim Johnson. I worked at Region 13 from April 1968 to February 2004. 36 great years.
My name is Ken Baker, and I started here in 1987. I was originally hired as a delivery driver. In those days, we had 16 millimeter films that we would send out to the districts, and that's what they would watch in the classroom. When I was delivering film to the districts, I kept hearing a similar phrase every district that I went to, and it was Region 13 is here. It was never Ken is here or the driver is here, Region 13. And leaving, I realized I represented Region 13. I was an ambassador.
I think we had like 60 maybe employees when I started here. My name is Frances McAdams. I started here at Region 13 in 1971. When I came here, there was a brand new typewriter and a brand new desk for me to sit at. I typed checks and purchase orders. I came here BC, before the computer. When we were over in the Tracor location back in the 70s, one year we got a rare snowfall. We don't get many snowfalls here in Texas, and especially here in Austin. We had a snowball fight. That was so much fun, and it was just something that you never forget.
I started when the building opened in October of '86. I actually got hired just before that, and everyone was still working on Lamar, but there was no space, so I sort of hung out in the hall. And then we moved pretty much immediately over here. Well, when I first came, Joe Parks was here, so you see his picture out on the plaque. And they just, they just trusted us to do what we needed to do. There was the expectation that you were gonna get out there and do what needed to be done, and that's what everybody worked hard, and it's always been just a really good place to work.
I'm Scott Parks. I'm the son of Joe Parks, and I guess I started at Region 13 in 1967 when I was about 4 years old, and my dad brought me up here to let me run around and probably stay out of my mom's hair. I think I'm known for creating this little cart with coffee and beverages that I would roll around to take people to their desks. One of my earliest memories of the service center in one of the first buildings over on Tracor was down in the media room, or I guess that's what it was called. But I could remember these long, long rows of film canisters is where they stored all the films. And we'd be running around down there and sort of playing hide and seek, and it was a pretty spooky place. One of the common things we would do is come up, set up a projector on the wall and watch educational or maybe semi-educational films to pass the time away.
When I joined the Service Center, I was 16 years old, attending Reagan High School as a VOE student / a regular student. My name is Karen Robinson. When the TTC Center was built, none of this was all vegetation when I got here. It was just this building. It was a big island, a big circle that you could drive around, and this was the only building. We had a science material center. where we had all the animals that the kids, enjoy, like kids seeing the eggs being incubated, and we had fish, we had rabbits, we had all kind of pheasants. So this place was somewhat cool and crazy.
What's the deal with all the animals and the plants? Dad was all about learning in different ways to learn. Lizards or mice or rabbits or just any flora and fauna, Dad would sort of collect those. So I think a lot of that was something he brought to the Service Center as a tool and a technique for classroom learning that could bring those experiences and those resources to kids who might not ever be exposed to some of those things.
My name is Olga Gutierrez, and I came on board on April of 1978. At that time, we were really small in terms of programs, but we had all the floors except for the fourth floor. Jimmy Carter's people had that floor, so it was impossible to try and see what was going on, of course. And so I remember Dr. Parks cooking pancakes for everybody, anybody. Even if he had just had an argument with somebody about something, he would invite everybody. So he was a great person.
When service centers were established in 1967, we had to earn the trust of the school districts in this region. And I think the greatest accomplishment in those first few years was Dr. Parks and others gaining the trust of the school people. I can recall getting in his 1968 Buick Skylark with Royce King and conducting area meetings with our superintendents. I can recall that what Dr. Parks said was, "We're not sure what Region 13 is going to become, but I guarantee you it will be a change agent."